Hello, this is your host, and today we're going to look at the first industrial revolution. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can get notified when we upload new videos. And sold in the United States in the early 20th century. It was named after Henry Ford, who founded the Ford Motor Company in 1903. This company would change the way cars were built forever. In just 5 years, Ford had developed a car that was affordable for the average American family, reliable and mass-produced. The Ford Revolution was sparked by the introduction of the assembly line, and it changed not only the way things were made, but also the way people lived and worked. Within 3 years, more than 10,000 had been sold and customers clamored for more. However, there were several problems with producing these cars. Other manufacturers quickly adopted this innovation, and soon the assembly line became a common sight in factories across the country. The Ford Revolution had begun. After studying engineering in college, he went to work for a tractor company, where he eventually became manager of manufacturing. He wanted to produce a low-cost, reliable car that could be mass-produced. In fact, they lost more than $8 million over the next 6 years. Its success allowed Ford to expand his business and introduce even more innovative products. At its peak in the 1920s, the company employed nearly 100,000 people. These workers came from all over the world, and they were drawn to Detroit by the promise of high wages and a better life. This was a revolutionary concept that allowed workers to remain in one place while the product moved past them. This increased productivity and reduced the time it took to assemble a single unit. Additionally, the emphasis on quality control helped to build customer loyalty and trust in the Ford brand. It marked the beginning of the modern age, and it had a profound impact on society. Also, make sure to subscribe so that you can get notified when we upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. From the introduction of the assembly line to the mass production of automobiles, Ford's innovations changed the way goods were produced and consumed. It also created new jobs and opportunities for millions of Americans, and it helped to transform the United States into an industrial powerhouse. The influx of new workers created a housing shortage in the city, so Ford decided to build his own neighborhood. Ford's goal was to produce a low-cost, reliable car that could be mass-produced. He believed that if he could create a car that met the needs of the average American consumer, he could sell millions of units. This focus on affordability and practicality led to the creation of some of the most iconic vehicles of all time, such as the Model T in 1926. He opened Willow Run Village near his factory in Dearborn, Michigan. This was a planned community with houses, schools, parks, and other amenities. It was designed to provide a comfortable and affordable place for his employees to live. For example, in 1914, he introduced the first Fordson tractor. It marked the beginning of the modern age, and it had a profound impact on society. From the introduction of the assembly line to the mass production of automobiles, Ford's innovations changed the way goods were produced and consumed. It also created new jobs and opportunities for millions of Americans, and it helped to transform the United States into an industrial powerhouse. The introduction of the automobile changed the way people lived, worked, and traveled. It also created new industries and job opportunities. For example, the need for roads, gas stations, and repair shops created a whole new economy around the automobile. Additionally, the Ford Motor Company's decision to build its own neighborhood, Willow Run Village, was a radical move that sought to provide a comfortable and affordable place for its employees to live. This was an affordable, powerful machine that revolutionized agriculture. However, in 1908, everything changed. That year, the Model T was unveiled and sales exploded. To achieve this goal, he implemented several innovative ideas. First, he introduced the concept of the moving assembly line. This allowed workers to remain in one place while the product moved past them. This increased productivity and reduced the time it took to assemble a single unit. Second, Ford emphasized the importance of quality control. He established a rigorous inspection process to ensure that each vehicle met his standards. This helped to build customer loyalty and trust in the Ford brand. Finally, Ford understood the value of advertising. He recognized that if he could create a car that met the needs of the average American consumer, he could sell millions of units. With these strategies in place, the Ford Motor Company was well positioned for success. But Ford's dream was always to build his own company. So in 1903, he founded the Ford Motor Company with two friends, William C. Durant and Louis A. Schweitzer. First, it was difficult to find enough workers to staff the factory. Second, the cost of materials was high. Third, the pace of production was slow. And finally, quality control was a major issue. And if you do enjoy this video, please like it so that we know that you enjoyed it. So let's get right into it. One engineer, Ransom E. Olds, had a brilliant idea. He suggested that the workers stand in one spot while the parts came to them instead of having the workers move from station to station. This innovation is now known as the assembly line. Today we'll look at the Ford Revolution. Now, the Ford Revolution was a series of changes in the way goods were produced. The Ford Revolution took place in the United States from the 1900s to the 1910s. In 1908, Ford Motor Company launched the Model T, an inexpensive automobile powered by an internal combustion engine. The Model T was an instant success. To address these issues, Ford hired a team of engineers to develop new methods for building cars. On October 1913, the first car to be assembled on an assembly line rolled off the production floor. This innovation cut the time it took to build a car from 12 hours to 90 minutes. By 1914, the Ford Motor Company was producing 1,000 Model Ts every day. These innovations made the Model T the best-selling car of all time. More than 15 million were sold during its production run from 1908 to 1927, but the assembly line did not stop with the Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford was born in 1863 in Michigan. As a young man, he was fascinated by mechanics and began working in his father's machine shop. From the start, Ford had a clear vision for his company. The first Ford Motor Company quadricycle, the Model O, was unveiled in June 1896. Despite its initial promise, the company struggled financially. The Model T was an affordable, reliable, and practical vehicle that quickly became popular with consumers. As the Ford Motor Company grew, so did its workforce. Overall, the Ford Revolution was a major turning point in American history. One of the most important aspects of the Ford Revolution was the introduction of the assembly line. Another key aspect of the Ford Revolution was the focus on affordability and practicality. Furthermore, the Ford Revolution had a profound impact on American society. In conclusion, the Ford Revolution was a major turning point in American history. We hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it so that we know that you enjoyed it.